Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and this is currently your Ole Gunnar Solsjaker press conference reaction, building up to the Huddersfield Manchester United game this weekend. So Ole Gunnar Solsjaker has said quite a few interesting stuff in his press conference, but the first topic in the development I'm going to give you an update on is in relation to David De Gea. So Ole Gunnar Solsjaker has confirmed, that David De Gea, will be playing against Huddersfield, and probably, will be playing for these two remaining games, as Sergio Romero has sustained a knee injury reportedly in training. So Sergio Romero, cannot be in contention, because you have seen, I have heard quite a lot of Manchester United fans saying that De Gea, should be dropped for these two remaining games, based on his costly errors he has been making, and maybe we should give Sergio Romero the opportunity in the two remaining games, but we can't now because Sergio Romero has sustained a knee injury. But as they currently say, what's going on with David De Gea at the moment, as we all know, should Manchester United, sell him this summer, but why has he been making these mistakes recently? Is it something to do with the contract issue? Doesn't he want to be at Manchester United anymore? And we do know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is a big admirer of David De Gea. David De Gea has been here now 8 years at Manchester United. He has made over 300 odd appearances in all competitions for the club as De Gea. He's won the club's player of the year 4 times out of the last 5 years. But De Gea is attracting interest, from the likes of PSG. Obviously, Real Madrid have been long admirers of him. Real Madrid were on the brink of getting him in 2015. But reports were coming out the other day saying that PSG have stepped their interest in him, and PSG were willing to offer him a £450,000 a week contract. That's actually more than double of what he's currently on at the moment with Manchester United, because he's on about £200,000 a week at the moment with Manchester United. Reports were coming out the other day saying that, obviously Manchester United have been in negotiations to try to get De Gea a new contract at the club, and he did say Man United were willing to offer him around £300,000 a week, but reportedly De Gea is demanding that he wants around £350,000 a week, if he's to remain loyal to the club, and of course if he's to sign a new contract, and of course if he's to commit his long-term future at Manchester United as well. But he's potentially still one of the best goalkeepers in the world is David De Gea. Obviously last year Manchester United activated a 12-month extension, of course, so he's under contract till summer of 2020. So if Manchester United cannot come to an agreement to get him a new contract, obviously Manchester United would want to cash in for him this summer, rather than letting go on a free transfer in the summer of 2020. So David De Gea is going to be playing in the Huddersfield game, and he was also talking about quite a few other things as well. Solskjaer did say he's going to have his final say, of what players come in and what players leave in the summer as well. And even though we're probably not going to be in Champions League football for next season, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer also mentioned in his press conference that he has been contacted by a number of agents, offering their players to Manchester United. So basically what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is saying is, even if we don't get the Champions League football that we want for next season, it doesn't stop players that we want to come in as well. So this is what also Ole Gunnar Solskjaer mentioned. But we do know we have been in a bad vein of form. Of course, we've been in a really bad vein of form. We've only won 2 of our last 10 games in all competitions. And, to be quite honest with you, we have created chances, but not really enough chances. We haven't been ruthless enough in front of goal. We haven't been really, scoring enough goals as well. The majority of this Manchester United team at the moment isn't reliable enough, based on their poor run of performances. But reflecting back when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, was the interim manager in his first 3 months, everything was going right. The results were good. The performances were good. He's getting the best out of these players, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer exceeded expectations. And since he's got the job permanently, it's just seemed to have all gone on. Is it something to do with a different sort of level of pressure? I'm not too sure, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, I definitely think that top 4 has gone now, to be quite honest with you. And I think, obviously these 2 remaining games, Huddersfield and Cardiff, Manchester United, should be winning anyway. Huddersfield are poor, Cardiff are poor. But let's be honest, we're only praying for pride now, because there's really nothing to play for now for Manchester United. As I said, we're not going to get top 4. Well, it's looking like we're not going to get top 4. We're not in the FA Cup. We're not in the Champions League. We're also basically playing for pride. So maybe we should give the youngsters the opportunity in this game against Huddersfield and drop the problematic players as well. So as I did confirm to you, so it will be De Gea featuring in these 2 remaining games. As I did say, we have still got quite a few injuries. I haven't heard news about Antonio Valencia. There were reports coming out saying that he could participate in these 2 remaining games, because Valencia has recently been injured, as we all know, for Manchester United. He has been out with a calf injury, but recent reports have now said he is training now. Is Antonio Valencia. Obviously, he's one of the players that are definitely going to leave the club in the summer after he's served 10 years as a Manchester United player. Antonio Valencia, of course, he's won everything he domestically. He won the Smack Busby Player of the Year award, back in 2012, was it, as well. But obviously, the club have opted against a decision, to give Valencia that new 1-year extension. So he's going to leave this summer summer when his contract term expires, but he may be given at least a farewell appearance, of course. But he's been good over the years. He's grown, developed, and flourished fantastically well as Valencia. I think the last game he played for Manchester United was back against Newcastle just after New Year's Day as well. I think that's the last game Antonio Valencia played. Definitely Ashley Young, definitely needs to be dropped as well, because he's been he's been really poor for Manchester United, and it was bad business from the club, giving Ashley Young that new 1 year extension. And don't get me wrong, over the years he has been a good servant to Manchester United. He's been here 8 years now. He was a good winner, back in the day was Ashley Young, but he's past his sell-by date now. He's getting too old. He's too easily predictable. As I said, he gets exploited far too easily as Ashley Young, even though he's our first choice right back, but he needs to be dropped for these 2 remaining games, does Ashley Young. And as I said, it was bad business from the club, giving him that new 1 year extension. So I want to see him leave Manchester United this summer. So for me, we should put Diego Dalot at that right back position, give Diego Dalot the opportunity, play him ahead of Ashley Young. We got Diego Dalot last summer from Porto for around £19 million, and he's still in the process of developing. When he has played, he has been quite impressive. Sometimes he's played, as a right back, sometimes we've played him in more of an advanced role. We've played him in more of an attacking role, Diego Dalot as well. So yeah, I think he should be in contention, to play in these 2 remaining games. I think he's only 19, 20 years of age. Obviously, Eric Bay, of course, came off against Chelsea. We do know that, of course, Eric Bay is injured. Eric Bay is injured. Well, he got injured against Chelsea. That was another injury he sustained. I think he's a knee injury, something like that. But initially, before that, he just recovered from a head injury, Eric Bay. And for me, he hasn't really had the chance, especially since Ole Gunnar Solsjaker has come in. And for me, we should maybe get rid of him in the summer, because Eric Bay is too injury prone, and he's heading into his 4th season now as a Manchester United player. I think Phil Jones is still out with a knee injury as well. I think Phil Jones is still out again. He's not good enough to represent Manchester United. Phil Jones, he's been a long servant to the club. This is now his 8th season at Manchester United. He's been here since the Ferguson era, and sometimes, when he does get the run of games, he can play well, but for me, just not reliable enough, to be quite honest with you, is Phil Jones. So yeah, I think he's still out as well. Lukaku, now news came out about in quite a few media outlets saying that Lukaku has sustained a hamstring injury. I wouldn't play Lukaku anywhere, and I think he's one of the players that are likely to leave Manchester United this summer, Romelu Lukaku, because his agent recently revealed that his future is very, very open. But I think he has sustained a hamstring injury. Lukaku has sustained, quite a few injuries this season for Manchester United, but he has sustained an hamstring injury. Don't get me wrong, his pedigree is very, very good in the Premier League. His goal scoring form is very, very good, Romelu Lukaku's, but for me, he hasn't got the capabilities, and he's not good enough, to play to that highest level, because when it comes to playing the big teams, he's a big game bottler. His first touch concerns, man, that I've got reservations about Lukaku as well, and his finishing, lets him down, even though his pedigree is very, very good in the Premier League. He's enjoyed a difficult second season with Manchester United, and he's attracting interest from the likes of Juventus and Inter Milan. I think it's AC Milan were interested in him. So I think he's intending on making a move to Italy this summer. Manchester United paid big money for him. We paid £75 million plus 15 million in add-ons. Obviously, that risen up to £90 million. He's still got 3 years left on his contract. He's on about £250,000 a week as well. So if Lukaku is to leave this summer, obviously, we're going to need a replacement for him, because the likes of Martial and Rashford, obviously, are not reliable enough. And obviously, the likes of Martial and Rashford are still young, and they have obviously not graduated to that level yet as well. And we have had some updates on Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford, of course, he did suffer a shoulder injury reportedly. This is why he came off in the Chelsea game. But his performances in the last couple of months, have been way below par. And I think this is taking its toll on him. It's had a bad effect on Marcus Rashford's game. Before he had a couple of ankle injuries. Now he has sustained a shoulder injury. Maybe he could be involved in the game, Marcus Rashford, but his performances have been way below par, and he's a short-term problem at the moment. I still think he's definitely the long-term solution, Rashford, because when he's playing to his potential best, he can get them runs in behind. He's lightning. Marcus Rashford, he can score goals, and he hasn't been doing this in the last couple of months as well. But he's still a long-term solution. You've got Anthony Martial as well. I think he probably will be involved in this game, because obviously he didn't play against Chelsea, even though he was on the bench, but he was an unused substitute. Martial's performances have got to step up as well, because he's been very, very poor in the last couple of months. And earlier on in the season, he was firing in all cylinders. He was playing really, really well. He was scoring goals. He was providing, and he was looking very, very good on that left-hand side with Anthony Martial. But at least in the last couple of months, he has really, really failed to replicate that. But again, the short-term problem, but he's still the long-term solution. Jesse Lingard, for me, I don't think he'll start this game. Jesse Lingard, he may, be involved in the game. I don't think he'll start, because his performances have been way below par, at least in the last couple of months. Jesse Lingard, and I've been very, very frustrated because he's supposed to know what it's all about. He's graduated from Manchester United youth system, all that, and he's grown and developed. And we do do know what Jesse Lingard, can be capable of on that right hand side as well. But he's been very, very inconsistent indeed. Potentially, for me, I think Mason Greenwood, should be given the opportunity, to be quite honest, because Mason Greenwood has been very, very impressive for the reserves for Manchester United as well. So he should be given the opportunity in these two remaining games. Should Mason Greenwood, and a lot of fans are saying that Mason Greenwood should start on Sunday against Huddersfield. That midfield, I would drop Nemanja Matic and I would put Fred into contention, because Fred for me at the moment is a better solution than Nemanja Matic. Fred, I still don't know if he's a long-term solution. I don't know if he's got the capability to get us to that level where we want to be, Fred. That's why we need to build in that midfield. Fred, prior to the Chelsea game, I know he didn't play against Chelsea, but he stepped up his performances. Did Fred? He was supporting his defence very, very well. He was feeding players ahead of him very, very well, and I think he's probably more mobile and better on the ball than Nemanja Matic. So he's probably a better option than Nemanja Matic is, Fred. Because I've got strong reservations about Matic. He totally slows that midfield down. He's too static. I've got reservations about him. He's aging up as well. So yeah, Nemanja Matic for me, I don't want him at Manchester United in the summer, so I think we should get rid of him and bring, we need a new centre defensive midfield, of course, that's fast and tenacious. So I think the midfield, for this game will probably be Fred, Pogba and Herrera, I should presume. Paul Pogba, as I said, he's got to step up to the plate as well for Manchester United as Paul Pogba. I think he did okay against Chelsea, but prior to the Chelsea game, his performances, way below par, and I think, looking at some of his performances, that have been, very, very inconsistent, that just emphasises that he no longer wants to be at Manchester United, Paul Pogba. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has actually, spoken to Paul Pogba, of course, and I think also one of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's priorities is, of course, is to keep Paul Pogba at the club, to keep David De Gea at the club, and Solskjaer's spoken to Paul Pogba, and he's also spoken to David De Gea as well. With Paul Pogba, I do think he's going to be going to Real Madrid this summer, even though recent reports are coming out saying that, we know that Paul Pogba's on about £290,000 a week, is he, with Manchester United. Reportedly now, Paul Pogba will have to take a wage cut if he wants to make the move to Madrid this summer, because Real Madrid are not willing to meet his current £290,000 a week wages. So Paul Pogba will reportedly have to take a pay cut, and probably Paul Pogba, will take this pay cut. Even though Manchester United have been in negotiations getting him a new contract, Paul Pogba's still got over 2 years left on his deal with an option of a further year. Reports came out about 3 weeks ago saying that he was demanding $500,000 a week from Manchester United if he was to sign a new contract with the club. But Solskjaer still insists he'll be here next season. Solskjaer still thinks Paul Pogba will be at Manchester United next season. This is from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's preference, but I think Paul Pogba is intending on leaving the club this summer. And I think if we can get rid of Paul Pogba, it will help us with our transition. I think we could get around 120, 130 million pounds for him. Zinedine Zidane, of course, is a big admirer of the player, and Zinedine Zidane is emphasising his targets this summer. Obviously, one of them's Paul Pogba, one of them's Chelsea's Eden Hazard. So he wants to invest into Real Madrid this summer, does Zinedine Zidane as well. But yeah, as I did say, there were reports coming out the other week saying that, Manchester United were willing to offer Paul Pogba the captain's armband, to convince him to stay at the club. But yeah, I think his former club Juventus are still reportedly interested in Paul Pogba. Obviously, he had 4 good years, with Juventus. It did say Juventus have met up with his agent Raiola. It did say Juventus would have to offload a couple of players, to be able to fund the move for Paul Pogba as well. So there has been a lot of talk, going on about that as well. But reports came out from Spain the other day saying that reportedly Paul Pogba has agreed personal terms. He also has agreed the wages as well. And it did say he'd agreed around a $10 million a year deal with Real Madrid as well. So I do think he'll still be going in the summer. Obviously, maybe Paul Pogba, a player to his calibre, wants to be playing to the highest level, wants to be challenging for trophies as well. And obviously, Manchester United are quite a few years off that at least. But maybe Manchester United, he's not playing amongst world-class players. And obviously, if he goes to Madrid, he's going to be playing amongst better players. And Solskjaer has built a great relationship with Paul Pogba. When I said Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's managing Manchester United reserve team, watch some of this team at this day and age, grow and develop. And of course, one of them was Paul Pogba. And in that 3-month period, we saw the best of Paul Pogba, and he was one of our most influential players. So I don't know what's really gone wrong. But Paul Pogba did get one of his best wishes when Jose Mourinho left, obviously, because Paul Pogba had a bad relationship with Jose Mourinho as well. But yeah, Paul Pogba will still be playing in these 2 remaining games. So will Ander Herrera, even though we know Herrera is going to PSG on a 3 transfer in the summer. He's still going to be playing. I should presume that Herrera is still going to be playing in these 2 remaining games. But I do really like Ander Herrera. But yeah, we should win this game against Huddersfield. As I said, Huddersfield very, very poor. They're relegated now at Huddersfield. They've only gained 14 points this season. It was the first time they came up to the top flight last season, 45 years or something like that. So yeah, we should beat Huddersfield and Cardiff, because they are really, really poor teams. But I don't think it makes a difference anyway, because obviously, we're not going to finish in that top four now, unless we do win these 2 remaining games and teams around us, do drop points as well. But fair play to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He still thinks we can attract players, to the highest level, even if we don't get Champions League football for next season, because Solskjaer's claimed that he's being contacted by a number of agents, offering their players to Manchester United. So this is what obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer also mentioned in his press conference. But Solskjaer did say, he's going to get around 200. He did say he's going to get around £250 million spending spree this summer. He wants to bring at least 5 new additions to the club, because we are expected to orchestrate a big summer clear out, and I think up to at least 6 players, could believe in Manchester United this summer. But as I did say, Solskjaer wants to build a squad, worthy of the club's histories, because you can see the areas we are lacking. You can potentially, see the deficiencies in the squad as well. So yeah, do you think £250 million, would be enough? But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, is still in the process of rebuilding. None of these squads, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, his inherent 11 of Jose Mourinho's players. There's still players from Van Gaal here. There's still Matt Rhea from the David Moyes era. I think Matt, could actually, get given another opportunity against Huddersfield after he put a good, impressive performance in against Chelsea. We know Matt is no longer playing to the highest level now. He's 31 years of age. He has lost that yard of pace. He's been a fantastic servant in the Premier League, for Manchester United. When he was younger, he had 2.5, 3 years with Chelsea. There has been talks, obviously, he could be going to Barcelona on the free transfer this summer when his contract expires. But reportedly, Juan Mata would have to take a pay cut on his £170,000 a week wages if he is to make the move to Barcelona, because he had a lot of experience of playing in Spain, when he was young, Juan Mata as well. So I think he's going to be going in the summer. But I think he could be given the opportunity in this game against Huddersfield, analysing his good performance he put in against Chelsea, getting his name on the score sheet as well. But yeah, as I did quickly say, yeah, so players are expected to leave Manchester United this summer. But as I did say, yeah, so Juan Mata's to leave from the David Moyes era. There's still about 4 or 5 players here from the Alex Ferguson era. So Solskjaer's inheriting all them players. So none of this squad is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's. But yeah, he's going to need backing this summer. Then we know the club is still looking to hire a director of football to come in, to change the structure of the club. Solskjaer's going to definitely, need backing this summer. But as I did say to you guys, there has been quite a few candidate names mentioned. But it's good that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's emphasising his targets. He's emphasising the interest in quite a few young upcoming talents as well. So that's really, really good indeed. But potentially, yeah, so recent reports have come out about Lyon's Moussa Dembele. I think I updated you about him a while back. It has said Manchester United have made some kind of contact regarding, the player. It also said that Arsenal are interested in Moussa Dembele. And if Lukaku is to leave the club this summer, do you think he'd be a good, adequate replacement for Lukaku, Moussa Dembele? Moussa Dembele, I think he's 22 years of age, so he's only very, very young. He only joined Lyon last summer. Lyon got him from Celtic for around, was it £19 million? I think he's also a former, I think he did have 2 years at Celtic, didn't he? I think before that he was with Fulham as well. Don't really know much about Moussa Dembele, but he did say that Manchester United have showed an interest in him. He is a forward, he's 22 years of age, so he's still very, very young in his prime, but he did say also Arsenal are interested in Moussa Dembele. I can't remember his contract he's got. Did he sign a 5-year contract, so he's under contract till 2023 or something like that with Lyon, but he's been spoken about. But he can score goals, reportedly he can provide as well, so there has been talks about him going on in the media. Potentially, as we all do know, we know like Manchester United want to get Jadon Sancho this summer, and I did say maybe Champions League football hinges on whether we get Jadon Sancho this summer or not. Maybe we could still get Jadon Sancho, and we do know he's going to cost us around at least £100 million, but we do know that we have got the financial power, of course, to meet his valuation. But maybe a player of Jadon Sancho's calibre, wants to be in Champions League football. But I think, it would, it would be good for us, to get Jadon Sancho, a player of his quality, of course. And I think if he was to make a return to the Premier League, I think it'd be a better it'd create a better platform, for Jadon Sancho, because he can score goals, he can provide. I think we need someone who can play between the bylines, put crosses into the box, and Jadon Sancho is capable of that. And he's only very, very young. He's got immense talent. He's only 19 years of age as well. But we do know he's going to cost us around £100 million this summer. And I do think he's still the club's #1 priority target. Is Jadon Sancho as well. But you do know how much of a big fan I am of Jadon Sancho. but he is going to cost us around £100 million this summer. And I have heard quite a few people saying, maybe we should be sensible with our recruitment this summer, because we do know there's players out there that are available for a reasonable figure, rather than, waste £100 million on one player, because we've been spending big money in the past. We did it with Pogba for 89 million, Lukaku for 75 million. So it doesn't always work out, to be quite honest with you. But as I did say, it may be hard for us, it may be hard for us to get Jadon Sancho, because obviously we're probably not going to be in Champions League football for next season. But he's been at Borussia Dortmund a couple of seasons now, and he's been fantastic. And he's had experience of playing in the Premier League, because he did serve a couple of years with Manchester City. But I don't think he ever got in the first team, or was never guaranteed to play regularly in the first team. This is why he left City and went to Borussia Dortmund. But Borussia Dortmund have been known for doing business with their players. So I still think he is the club's number one priority target is Jadon Sancho. Obviously, we do know the club are basically looking to get a couple of additions in that midfield as well. And as you all do know, reports were coming out yesterday saying that Manchester United want to wrap up deals for Bruno Fernandes and João Felix. The Portuguese duo. Bruno Fernandes plays for Sporting Lisbon, 24 years of age. João Felix plays for Benfica at 19 years of age. And reportedly, Man United, set their interest in Bruno Fernandes and João Felix. And reportedly, they could cost Manchester United up to £150 million. Bruno Fernandes, I do really, really like him. Manchester United have been in negotiations with his representatives over the summer transfer, as reports were saying from Portugal. Bruno Fernandes, I think City have been interested in him. I think it also said that AC Milan have been interested in him, but I think he's predominantly an attacking midfielder, but I think he can play in other positions as well. He can score goals, he can provide, and we need creativeness in that midfield. Someone that can pose a goal threat, and Bruno Fernandes is capable of doing that. I think he has got a release clause of around £90 million in his deal with Sporting Lisbon. He has been at Sporting Lisbon now a couple of seasons as Bruno Fernandes. I think he's got a contract with Sporting Lisbon until 2023, but Manchester United have been heavily linked with him indeed. So do you think he'd blend in very, very well in our midfield, and do you think he would be the right solution for Manchester United? So we could see him as a replacement for Pogba. There has been talks of João Felix, as you all know as well. Manchester United have been linked with him, and I think there's been news circulating around at least in the last couple of months, that Manchester United have been strongly linked with João Felix. João Felix is only 19 years of age. He only broke into the Benfica first team last year. I think he has got a buyout clause of around £100 million as João Felix, but he's a very, very good player indeed, is João Felix, and his performances have been very, very good, and this is why he's attracted interest, from quite a few clubs. I don't think he's yet made his senior debut for Portugal, but I think he's predominantly an attacking midfielder. He can play as a winner, he can also play as a striker, so he's versatile, he's João Felix as well. So potentially Manchester United have been interested in him at least in the last couple of months, and Man United scouts have been watching him on a regular basis. So Manchester United want to wrap up deals for Bruno Fernandes and João Felix that will reportedly cost Manchester United around £150 million. So they've been Manchester United targets as well. And potentially, as I did say, we need Manchester United, of course, to bring a right back in. And, there has been quite a few names mentioned. As I updated you on my last video, we have heard news about Crystal Palace's Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Now, reportedly, Aaron Wan-Bissaka is fully committed to Crystal Palace. Reportedly, he's confirmed that he will be at Crystal Palace next season, even though Manchester United have been linked to him, because obviously we need a replacement for Valencia. We need an upgrade to Ashley Young as well. So there has been talks about Aaron Wan-Bissaka going on. I think he's valued at around £35-40 million is Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He only broke into the Crystal Palace first team last year, so I think he's gone on to make 40 senior appearances. But I think his defensive abilities are very, very good, and he has thrived under Roy Hodgson very, very well as Aaron Wan-Bissaka. But I think he's fully committed to Crystal Palace, and I think he's confirmed he will be at Crystal Palace next season. But he has been a potential Manchester United target, and he's only 21 years of age. He's got immense talent. He's one of England's youngest upcoming talent, so there has been talks of him, but I don't think now we're going to be able to get him, because he wants to stay with Crystal Palace for at least another season. But we've been linked with the likes of Thomas Meunier, from PSG, and Thomas Meunier for me, he's available for a reasonable figure this summer, and reports came out the other week saying that PSG wanted around £20 million for him. Obviously, he hasn't signed a new contract with Paris Saint-Germain, Thomas Meunier. Obviously, I think he's got about 13 or 14 months left on his current deal. He's 27 years years of age, so he is highly experienced. Is Thomas Meunier. His defensive abilities are very, very good. I think he's primarily a right back, but he can play in other positions as well. So he is versatile. He's Meunier. He did say the likes of Arsenal and Chelsea were interested in Meunier as well. But I think he's got the ability, you know, to elevate Manchester United at least in the next couple of years. I know he's 27 years of age and he's highly experienced, and I think he's been at PSG a number of years now. And I think he's also a former Club Brugge player, is Meunier. But he did say the other week that Man United may be considering making a move for him this summer. But yeah, we've been interested in quite a few right backs. We know Kieran Trippier from Tottenham, you know, got mentioned the other week as well. But looking back to the midfield, you know, do you think Declan Rice, you know, would be a good addition, you know, if he was to come to Manchester United this summer? And Declan Rice is a defensive midfielder, so we would actually see him as a good replacement for Nemanja Matic. And Declan Rice is 20 years of age. He's one of England's youngest upcoming talents. Is Declan Rice. I think he's valued at around 40-50 million pounds. So West Ham would want around 50 million pounds for him this summer if they were willing to sanction him off. Declan Rice's performances this season have been very, very impressive under Manuel Pellegrini. But you do know how much I like Declan Rice. He's a good player. He breaks up the play very, very well. You know, he can press opponents and that. And I think he'd blend in very, very well in our midfield. And he has got a contract with West Ham till 2024. What he signed back in December of last year. This is probably, you know, reflecting on his fantastic performances he has produced, Declan Rice. But I think he could cost us around £50 million. Initially, I think he's been in the West Ham squad, senior squad, a couple of years now. Obviously, you know, when he was a lot younger, he began his youth career with Chelsea. He joined Chelsea's youth academy at the age of 7. He was in Chelsea's youth setup a number of years, but actually got axed off at the age of 14. And then actually, you know, he went to join West Ham. So, do you think Declan Rice, you know, would be the right solution for Manchester United? So we could see him as a replacement for Nemanja Matic. There's been a few midfielders mentioned, you know, Sol Niguez from Atletico Madrid's been mentioned. Idrissa Gueye, there's been talks about him as well. So we have been interested in quite a few midfielders, but we've got to get a central defender in, you know, someone that can go alongside Victor Lindelof, because as I did say, you know, we haven't had a world-class central defender since we had the likes of Vidic and Ferdinand, so we need someone that can partner alongside Lindelof, because as I said, Baye is too injury prone, not good enough, you know, he's too injury prone, he's Baye, and he should go in this summer. You know, likes of Chris Smalling used as a backup option, Phil Jones, of course. Obviously, Smalling and Jones are no longer good enough to represent Manchester United, and it was bad business in the club, you know, giving Smalling and Jones, you know, new long-term contracts. So we've got to get someone alongside Victor Lindelof, and we do know there's still a possibility, you know, we could get Koulibaly from Napoli, even though we probably won't have Champions League football for next season, because as Solskjaer's confirmed, you know, he has been contacted by a number of agents, you know, offering their players to Manchester United and all that. But Koulibaly, I do really, really like him, but maybe a player of his calibre, you know, does want to be in Champions League football. But I really, really like Koulibaly. He'd address our defensive deficiencies well. He shows that ability to play out from the back. He's a really, really good defender. He's highly experienced. He's nearly 28 years of age now. Obviously, we do know Manchester United are going to have to pay a world record fee for Koulibaly. If we have got any chances of getting him, we've got to pay him a world record fee for him. But we have got the financial power, you know, to meet that valuation. But Manchester United have been long admired him, but there's still a possibility, you know, maybe we could still get him. So we'll see what happens. Toby Alderweireld, you know, there's been a lot of talks about him going on as well, and I like Alderweireld. He's a good player. Alderweireld he's available for reasonable figures, available 25 million this summer. I think he'd be a good upgrade in our defence, you know, of what we've currently got at the moment. He's nowhere near the same calibre or level as the Koulibalys or the Rafael Varanes are out, but I still think he'd be a good upgrade in our defence. I think he'd combine very, very well alongside Lindelof in our backline, you know, would you know, Toby Alderweireld, and he's well Premier League proven. I know he's 30 now, he's aging up, and he's lost that yard of pace, and I've got some reservations about him, but he could be actually one of our first signings, you know, that comes in this summer, believe it or not. But I don't think he wants to be at Tottenham now, Alderweireld. He doesn't even want to be at Tottenham now, because he's obviously, you know, refused to sign a new contract, and this is what made Tottenham, you know, activate that 12-month extension and, you know, include the 25 million release clause as well. So maybe we should go in for Alderweireld this summer. So we're linked with quite a few central defenders, but we just need someone, you know, that can go alongside Victor Lindelof. Even though in his first 3 months, even though in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first 3 months defensively we did improve, but for me, either way, you know, we still need a central defender in there. But yeah, you can see the deficiencies in the squad, as I said. I think that left-hand side were mainly okay on that left-hand side, because I think Luke Shaw's very, very reliable. He's obviously our first choice left-back, and he can make them good overlapping runs. So I think left-back, I think that left-hand side is mainly okay. So the positions we need to strengthen, we need a right-back, we need a central defender, we need a couple of additions in midfield, we need a right winger, we need a striker, especially if Lukaku leaves. So they are the areas I think Manchester United need to strengthen up. And of course, if De Gea leaves, we're going to need a replacement for David De Gea in goal as well. So that's mainly you know, as I said in there, the start of the video. video what some of the things Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has said in his press conference. So yeah, Manchester United, should beat Huddersfield. We should beat Cardiff. I don't think it's going to make a difference anywhere, but we want to end the season on a high, but at least by winning them 2 games. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below the channel. If you do, consider subscribing as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.